Hello viewers, welcome to this talk. So this is a joint work with Shyam Murthy and Srinivas Vivek. Our work titled Revisiting Driver Anonymity in ORIDE has been accepted in SAC 2021, and this talk is going to briefly explain our work. So ORIDE is a privacy preserving ride hailing service, and in this work we question whether the privacy of drivers is really maintained with respect to the rider. We show that the answer is no, and we propose a fix to ORIDE so that the anonymity and privacy of drivers is ensured. So ride hailing services have become a popular means of transportation in the recent years. Some popular examples include Uber, Lyft. So just to give you some statistics, Uber trips have increased from 140 million rides per year in 2016 to 6.9 billion rides per year in 2020. These applications provide convenient features to users, such as enabling ride requests at the touch of a button. They give automatic payments, accurate fare estimation from your starting to end destination, and reputation ratings for drivers. So the three main entities in any ride-hailing service are the service provider themselves, for example Uber or Lyft, who provide the service, riders, and drivers. So what are some privacy issues in RHS? Of late we have seen that there have been many complaints against these ride-hailing services because of the vast amount of information that they collect. For some examples, Uber employees have been reported to use their app to spy on ex-lovers, politicians, and celebrities. Lyft was sued for violating the California privacy law, and Uber has been reported to track its drivers in China and threatening them to fire anyone attending taxi protests. So some information that these ride-hailing services collect include the pickup and drop locations, time of travel, etc. And clearly these sensitive information should not be revealed to the service provider, keeping in mind privacy of its users. So motivating our problem, there have been many privacy preserving solutions for ride hailing services proposed since 2015-2016. ORIDE is one of the earlier works in this area. So ORIDE was proposed by Pham et al. In 2017 at the Usenix Security Symposium. So ORIDE hides the locations and identities of riders and drivers from the service provider during ride matching. In this way, they ensure that privacy of these entities are maintained. In addition to this basic feature, they also provide accountability in case of any malicious activities. They also provide features of traceability, and they also support anonymous payment and reputation rating for drivers. ORIDE is one of the first works to use encryption as a means to ensure privacy. They encrypt locations of all entities using a public key encryption scheme. During ride matching, they choose the closest driver based on the Euclidean distance between the rider and the driver. And since all locations are encrypted, they want to compute this Euclidean distance over the ciphertext data, and they want to outsource this computation to the service provider because the service provider is computationally powerful. And so they use a somewhat homomorphic encryption scheme to compute the Euclidean distance over encrypted locations homomorphically. And a somewhat homomorphic encryption scheme suffices in this context because it supports an arbitrary number of additions and a limited multiplicative depth. And since the multiplicative depth for Euclidean metric is 2, it is efficient in practice. And the threat model that ORIDE considers is that of a passive service provider, which means the service provider is honest but curious, and this is reasonable to assume since the service provider needs to maintain its reputation if it wishes to attract more customers. And the riders and drivers are malicious and active adversaries. So let's go over the protocol of ORIDE briefly. You have three entities as I described earlier: the service provider, the rider, and multiple drivers. So ORIDE first determines, the service provider first determines a public zone demarcation of the city. So a city is divided into multiple zones, and a service provider handles ride matching within each zone. So the riders and drivers are given anonymous credentials at the start of the day, and they are renewed at the end of each day. And zones are chosen such that there are sufficient number of riders and drivers in that zone. So even if a ride request comes from a particular zone, the service provider does not know which rider initiated the ride request, since there are many riders in that zone, and hence sufficient anonymity is ensured for the rider's identity. So as the first step, the rider encrypts her location using the public key of the rider. So we said that all encryptions happen using a public key encryption scheme, and the public key used in this context is that of the rider. So the rider encrypts her location using her public key and sends it to the service provider. Similarly, all drivers in the zone also encrypt their locations using the public key of the rider and send it to the service provider. The service provider now sees which drivers sent their encrypted locations and chooses those drivers in the zone. So what the service provider has now is the encrypted location of the rider and the encrypted locations of all drivers in the zone. And since the encryption scheme supports homomorphic encryption, the service provider homomorphically computes the Euclidean distance between the rider's location and the driver's location. And this Euclidean distance is computed pairwise for each driver in the zone. So for all drivers, the service provider has encrypted values of the Euclidean distance between the rider and that particular driver. Now the service provider simply forwards all these encrypted Euclidean distances to the rider, and since the rider initially generated the public key, she can decrypt these Euclidean distances to obtain the distances in clear text. Now the rider sorts these distances and chooses that driver who has the minimum Euclidean distance. So in this way, the ride matching occurs in the context of ORIDE. So once the closest driver is decided, the rider sends the anonymous ID of this driver to the service provider, and the rider and the driver proceed with ride establishment. The steps for ride establishment include the driver approaching the vicinity of the rider and sharing his details, but this is not relevant to our attack, so we shall skip this discussion. So what are some of ORIDE's goals? The first and most important is to ensure privacy of riders and drivers with respect to the service provider. And this is ensured by encrypting all locations using the public key of the rider, and hence by the security of the encryption scheme, the service provider does not get to know any information about the locations. And because the service provider has no information about their locations, it cannot perform large-scale privacy-sensitive inferences passively. For example, it cannot identify the general route or the general day-to-day activity that the rider follows, for example, traveling from work to home, etc. The SP also cannot perform targeted passive attacks, which means it cannot identify where there is more ride-hailing activity and where more number of riders are concentrated, etc. In addition to this basic feature, they also support accountability, and in case of assault between riders and drivers, the SP has the capacity to identify such misbehaving users and track them down. So in terms of usability, ORIDE is efficient and it supports easy anonymous payment and reputation ratings for riders and drivers and retrieval of lost items. In addition to this, ORIDE also makes a claim that malicious outsiders cannot obtain a snapshot of driver locations using fake ride requests, and this is a main point of concern for us. Is the privacy of drivers really ensured with respect to riders who can perform passive attacks to infer the location of riders? This is the main question that we address in this work. So we demonstrate a location harvesting attack on ORIDE. So in this attack, even an honest but curious rider, she need not be malicious, she can just be an honest but curious rider. She can determine the exact locations of about half the number of responding drivers in the zone. Speaking in terms of concrete numbers, we observed that there are around 400 drivers in a zone based on the New York City Uber dataset. And so an honest but curious rider can make a simple ride request and get to know the locations of about 200 drivers in the zone. And the reason why our attack is significant is because we can infer the exact locations of a good number of drivers given only the Euclidean distance between the rider and the driver. And what are some consequences of this attack? So once the rider gets to know the locations of a good number of drivers, there could be a possibility of a physical attack, because there have been instances reported where non-service provider taxis have tracked down Uber drivers, maybe because of rise in competition. And there are also scenarios where getting to know the distribution of drivers in the zone and where they are more densely located, this can help a competitor ride-hailing service to deploy its services in that particular region. So a competitor ride-hailing service can can carry out this attack and get to know the locations of drivers who are registered with ORIDE, and seeing the regions where there are high ride activity, they can focus on deploying their services in that particular region. So let us describe our attack. As we said in the ORIDE protocol, the rider receives the Euclidean distance to each rider in the zone. So consider the rider who decrypts the encrypted Euclidean distance for rider I. Now, given just this Euclidean distance, he knows that the driver I can lie anywhere on the circle defined by that radius. And in theory, there are infinite possibilities for the driver locations, because all the rider knows is the Euclidean distance between the rider and the driver. And indeed, if there are infinite possibilities, then the driver's location would have sufficient anonymity, because the rider cannot exactly pinpoint where the driver is. But is that really the case though? We see that there are not an infinite number of possibilities for the driver's location, because when encrypting their locations, all entities must convert their floating point coordinates to integers. And why is this necessary? Because the underlying somewhat homomorphic encryption scheme requires its input to be encoded as integers. And ORIDE recommends using several conversion schemes such as UTM to convert floating point coordinates into integers, and then these integer coordinates are encrypted and the Euclidean distance is computed between them homomorphically. So once we know that the solutions that should lie on the circle must have integer locations, we can reduce the number of possibilities greatly. So motivating this problem, the Gauss circle problem says that the average number of integer solutions to x squared plus y squared equals n tends to pi. So when the rider has the value n and he knows that the driver lies on the circle defined by this radius, the rider can try to enumerate all lattice points that lie on this circle because she knows that the coordinates of the driver must be integers. So for ORide, this equation turns out to be x di minus xr squared plus y di minus yr squared equals n, where xr comma yr is the location of the rider and x di comma y di is the location of the ith driver. Since all xr, yr, xdi and ydi are integers, and the rider already knows xr, yr and n, by manual enumeration on the circle, the rider can obtain different possible values for xdi and ydi, and these correspond to potential driver locations. And the rider can also use the following idea. Very likely during the ride matching, the driver coordinates will lie on the road. So when the rider initiates the ride request, in most of the cases when we observed in the New York City Uber dataset, the riders always responded from when they were on a road. So it could happen that they were moving or they were waiting stationarily for a ride, but in most cases they were on the road. So what the rider can do is, once she obtains these possible lattice points on the circle, she could filter out these coordinates further and keep only those coordinates that lie on road, and she can use Google Maps API to carry out this. So for example, suppose you have the value of n to be 25 and we have the equation as written there. Now the rider can define a circle of radius phi around herself, and this example is taken from the city of South Dallas. As you can see, the solutions for, if you assume that the rider's coordinate is 0, 0, the solutions for the driver's coordinate are plus or minus 3, 4, plus or minus 4, 3, plus or minus 5, 0, plus or minus 0, 5. And the coordinates that are in green, so first notice that all these coordinates are lattice points on the circle, which means they are the only integer solutions to the equation. And secondly, the rider knows that the driver should have been on road, so he can filter out coordinates in that way. So the green coordinates are the ones that lie on road, the red coordinates are the ones that do not lie on road. So finally the rider ends up with the following locations for the driver: 5, 0, 0, minus 5, 4, 3, and minus 4, 3. So we also provide an experimental evaluation for our attack, and our code is publicly available. First, we consider zones of varying sizes from 1 kilometer squared to 900 kilometers squared, and we follow the zone demarcation that was proposed by ORide. So the idea behind this zone demarcation is that if your zone is too small, then there could be a very few number of riders in that zone. For example, if there is a very sparse neighborhood and your zone size is just 100 square meters, then there could just be 1 or 2 residents living there. And if the service provider knows that a ride request has come from this zone, the service provider also knows with good certainty who made that ride request. So these zones are chosen such that there are sufficient number of riders and drivers in that zone, but the zones should also be not too large to ensure good performance, since the homomorphic computation must be carried out between the rider and all drivers in the zone. And by following the New York City Uber dataset, we observed that according to the zone demarcation proposed there are at most 400 drivers in each zone. We carry out our experiments in the cities of New York, Los Angeles, London, and Dallas. For each driver, we observed that the average number of lattice points to the equation xdi minus xr squared plus ydi minus yr squared equals n, that turned out to be around 20 points. So the rider has around 20 integer solutions on the circle, and after filtering out locations that don't lie on road using Google Maps, the rider ends up with around average 2 locations for the driver. And we also observed that in about 50% of the cases, the exact location of the driver was revealed, which means after filtering using Google Maps API, only one location of the rider remained, and this happened in around 50% of the cases, which means effectively a rider can recover the exact location of around 200 drivers in the zone. So a natural follow-up question can be asked: how do we mitigate this attack? So a natural approach to think of is that instead of encrypting her own location, a driver can encrypt a small noise added to her location. So for example, you choose a small radius r around the driver's location and select a random coordinate inside this radius r, and the driver, instead of encrypting her own location, encrypts this noisy location. And so if you follow the override protocol, the Euclidean distance is now computed between the rider's actual location and the driver's noisy location. So what the rider ends up with is this noisy Euclidean distance. So in the earlier attack, when the rider solved the equation and obtained lattice points, the lattice points were filtered out depending on whether they were on road or not. But now these lattice points correspond to noisy driver locations, and so the rider has to slightly modify her attack and should filter out, or in other words, she should keep those lattice points which have a road within vicinity R, because we know that the driver must be on road and she sends her noisy location within radius R. So if the rider has a noisy location, she should check if there is a road within vicinity R, and if there is, that could be a candidate location for the driver. So we run our experiments again using this modified attack and the modified encryption, not the modified encryption, but the modified technique where the driver encrypts her noisy location. And our experiments show that sufficient driver anonymity is maintained. So we conduct our experiments in the cities of Los Angeles and Dallas. The value of R is chosen between 50 meters and 150 meters, varyingly. And we saw that after filtering out locations using Google Maps, the rider always ends up with around 10 possible locations for the driver. Earlier, she ended up with around 2 possible locations, which was very less to ensure anonymity. But now the rider ends up with 10 equally possible locations for the driver, which means sufficient anonymity is indeed ensured. However, the trade-off is that there is a very small decrease in accuracy when selecting the closest driver. This is because the Euclidean distance is computed not between the rider and the actual driver's location, but between the rider and the noisy driver's location. So if the value of R is very small, then it is almost same as saying that the driver encrypted her own original location, which is same as the previous case. If the value of R is very large, then you add a lot of noise and you see a greater decrease in accuracy. And we found that varying R between 50 and 150 ensured anonymity while also keeping good accuracy. One small point that I forgot to mention earlier, we said we enumerate all lattice solutions to xdi minus xr squared plus ydi minus yr squared equals n, and one may ask, is this enumeration efficient? One natural algorithm is the O of square root of n time algorithm, where we enumerate all integer solutions. But for the zone sizes recommended by override, the value of n is sufficiently small, so we observe it to be around 10 to the 8 to 10 to the 9. And so running an O of square root of n algorithm to enumerate lattice points is indeed feasible, and our attack actually takes around 2 seconds per driver on a commodity laptop. So is this loss of accuracy actually necessary, and are there some other ways where we could try to mitigate our attack? So one possibility is the main problem with the main problem or the main advantage that the rider had was that she had the Euclidean distances between herself and the driver, and this allowed her to obtain possible driver locations by enumerating points on the circle. So what the service provider could do is the service provider could homomorphically add some noise to these Euclidean distances, so that once the rider decrypts these, she will not have the actual Euclidean distance, but she'll have the noisy Euclidean distance. And the SP adds noise in such a way that the ordering between these Euclidean distances is maintained, so that ride matching can still happen accurately and the rider can still choose the closest driver. Another approach to mitigating our attack is using a p-norm metric instead of Euclidean distance. But in our paper, we show that both of these techniques are still insecure, and a slight variation of our attack also holds in this case. So in essence, we showed a location harvesting attack in ORide, which is a privacy preserving ride hailing service. So a rider can obtain the exact locations of about half the number of drivers in the zone, and this is a clear violation of the claim made by ORide that no entity can obtain a snapshot of driver locations. We also proposed a fix where the driver adds noise to her location and showed that in this case sufficient anonymity is indeed maintained. So for future work, we could investigate homomorphic sorting by the service provider, where instead of sending all Euclidean distances to the driver, the SP could homomorphically sort those Euclidean distances and send only the Euclidean distance corresponding to the closest driver. And this is okay because during ride establishment, the location of driver is anyways revealed, and the locations of all other non-responding drivers would not be revealed. But to do this, you would need efficient homomorphic sorting, which currently is inefficient. And recent works on privacy preserving RHS use encrypted distances over road network embeddings. So instead of a Euclidean metric, they actually consider distances over roads. But there is still effort needed to ensure that no vulnerabilities are encountered when deploying them in practice. So we saw that in ORide, while in theory it seems that there are infinite possible locations for the driver given just the Euclidean distance, but the fact that homomorphic schemes require integer encoded inputs may seem insignificant or may even go unnoticed, but careful observation could lead to several practical attacks. So more investigation is needed for recent works as well. These are some references, and these are sources of images. Thank you for listening to this talk, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me or ask questions during the conference Q&A. Thank you.